I developed a funny lockjaw. You know, the dribbles coming out the side of my mouth. I couldn't speak, I couldn't chew. I just wanted to die. Took one look at me and said, "Oh, that's allergic reaction." He gave me my antidote and immediately my mouth just went, "Ugh." Back to normal.
I remember having a severe cold which didn't shift, and I shared a flat with a couple of vet students who dosed me with Famil syrup, the main active ingredient of which I believe is creosote. So I spent several days smelling like a fence post, but it did the job.
On my face, my legs, my stomach.
Got a small scar on my forehead where a child threw a brick at me. Well, it seemed like a brick at the time, but...
I've
and I've got a scar here.
I have no scars whatsoever anywhere. Have I? In fact, you count that as a scar. It's only a little.
Well, it is a scar, yeah.
Well, I don't count it as a scar, so.
Do you not?
No.
My arms, wrists, hands, everywhere. There is no one part on my body that does not have a scar.
They use mice, don't they, for things?
What, eyeliner?
It's not nice, really, is it?
What, lipstick on a Yorkshire Terrier?
Oh, no.
I like gardening, but I'd like to do more. I'd like to have the time. I love to see things grow. I love to design things.
Slugs, in my opinion, they're ugly looking things. But they're probably eating other creatures, aren't they? So they're probably doing your garden good to leave them.
I don't think they are actually doing your garden good.
Are they not?
They're eating... If they eat your leaves
I
and
know
things,
nothing about
they can
gardening.
wreck your plants.
Can
That's
they?
why they make slug pellets.
Oh well, yeah, you're
They
right.
don't make worm pellets.
Silly old me, I know.
Dog and cat food.
It smells absolutely disgusting,
Well,
doesn't
it's
it?
very strong.
Horrible.
It's very strong. Whelks mussels. That's like eating slugs.
Is it?
Oysters and stuff.
Well, I've never
Brilliant.
tasted a slug.
Ugh, sliding down your gullet.
But you don't eat slugs,
Like
do you?
eating a slug.
Well, how do you know when you've never had one?
That's how I would imagine it to be.
We went to a friend's last weekend and this poor little hamster's in this wheel thing for its exercise.
Well, it had a little car. It was a Volkswagen Beetle with a wheel in the middle, and it actually, by working the wheel, moved across the carpet.
At the end of the day, most of it's the the U factor, the R factor, you know. That's, oh, look at that, you know. Cute little kitten.
I think cats make good pets.
There's quite a lot of cats with bad breath, though. That's what I don't like about them.
Cats?
Yeah.
Everyone gets rejection in life. When you're younger, you're more able to actually cope with that, I think, and bounce back. And, you're not on the shelf for long.
I want
No.
a price ticket on myself.
No, not at all.
No.
I wouldn't even sell you.
I wouldn't sell you either.
Ah.
Ah.
I like to put food out for them,
Bread or
especially in the
nuts?
winter, because you see them in the trees and they're sort of looking a bit nonplussed, aren't they? But I put one of those peanut things out recently, thinking I was doing them a good turn, and it was like 10 weeks later, there was no visible sign of any nut disappearing, and I thought, well, what's this all about? I don't know.
How'd you
Maybe
open
I-
the bag?
Well, you don't open the bag, do you? They're supposed to go through the bag, aren't they? How do birds stay up in the air? It's all to do with aerodynamics, and that's far too complicated for me to go into now.
Some things aren't worth thinking about, are they like that?
Not all birds stay up in the air, do they?
No, they don't.
If you dropped an emu out of an aircraft, it wouldn't stay in the air, would it?
No.
Actually, I find that one of the most relaxing sounds there is, birds singing.
Yeah, lovely.
Well, what is a UFO?
You know what a UFO is?
What does it stand for?
I can't remember. Something. What is it?
So anything that you don't identify that flies past you is a UFO, isn't it? So basically, if it's a bird that you don't recognise, what's that? You get the book out, you can't identify it. That was a UFO, wasn't it?
No, you're being silly.
Well, I think a lot of the portrayal of aliens comes from people who say they've seen aliens or they've been beamed up by aliens. Some of these stories people come out with.
Do you think they are stories, or do you think they're true?
There's no doubt in my mind that these people have had an experience.
Well, the difference between cats and dogs. Cats don't wag their tail like a dog, and yes, they do. Sometimes they do. They don't go. Oh no, they don't do that. And they don't sit and go. And they don't fetch balls as well as dogs.
One's got a waggy tail and a cold nose, and the claws are like totally contracted all the time, whereas the other one contract their claws and it's got sharper teeth and pointed ears.
Which one's which?
The cats are the ones with contracted jaws and sharp teeth and the sharp pointed ears.
Excuse me. I think I'm an oddity. I've got a foot in both camps, really, and I appreciate either animal for very different qualities.
I like dogs better than cats, though.
I don't.
They seem to be more friendly somehow. Dogs like greet you, whereas cats just sit. They can sleep for so long. No.
Cats can appear to be lazy, but I don't think they are.
They have big claws, like bears, and they look like bears.
They just sit about all day and get fed and go meow, 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 meow.
I find cats, they claw the carpet a lot. They're a complete nuisance, actually.
I think you get more out of a dog in response.
Well, they're more interesting, aren't they?
I think they're thicker than cats, personally.
Do you?
I do.
And I go, shut up.
I used to be a chaser myself, but I mean, it's about what?
It's all about competitiveness, you know what I mean? You see these blokes and like I said, they've been let off a lead. You know what I mean? Like,
it's
and
like,
then like
it's like
it's just more than life, man.
Watching hounds after a hare, you know what I mean? It's
I've been bitten by dogs, I've been bitten by cats, I've been bitten by... you name it, I'll claim it.
Once I was walking past a house and the door suddenly flew open and a dog with a head the size of Albania jumped out, and its teeth were an inch away from my face and its mouth was so big I could have lived inside that mouth quite comfortably, and I was nearly killed.
I've been chased by a Great Dane, a slavering big thing, and it frightened me. I've been bitten by a beagle. I've been chased by an old English sheepdog, which was, I would say that was a springboard into me becoming a Christian.
Mm. You always say dogs come sniffing at your private parts.
Do I?
Yeah, that's one thing you always say.
Well, they told me they're not, that they're just being affectionate.
Dogs wag their tails to get the smell of their farts away, and the cat just walks around with its tail in the air.
Dogs I like very much because of their great intelligence and loyalty generally, and just so animated and, you know, great chums.
I don't think I've ever had fleas. I think the closest I ever got was scabies, and that was quite bad enough. You would entirely cover your body from head to toe with this alcohol solution. And there was always this sort of nagging doubt that some part of your anatomy would catch light like a fuse, and it would just be an enormous blue puff.
I think the best thing to do is to put on some flea powder, which you get from the vet. But it's probably not a good idea to have a good scratch, because that makes it red and raw and a bit rough and everything.
You know, I've never had any breed that's been a kind of a pampered, you know, pooch, you know.
They breed these mutant dogs, don't they, and give them awards for how mutated they look. And if it's a perfect mutant, it's got a pedigree. But if you crossbreed it with another mutant, it's called a mongrel.
Most pedigree dogs, to get them perfect, they've got things wrong with them. It's either the bull terrier or the bulldog can hardly breathe because they bred into them, that flattened face. It's a bulldog, innit? And a lot of the breeds have suffered when they show a cross.
They look ridiculous with silly bowls. Looks stupid.
I'm certainly a loyal companion, but I have to say I've been let down a lot too in my life. I might be very loyal, but I do like my father said before me. He said, you trust everybody once. And that's what I do. I trust everybody once, no matter who they are. So I'm loyal to the point of disloyalty.
Cats, on the other hand, they are the clever ones. They give humans nothing.
I'm not a cat person. No, they're not loving enough, and they hiss a bit, and they don't do anything. They just wee all over the garden and leave brown stains all over the grass and just make a nuisance of themselves.
I've defecated outside, of course I have. You know what I mean?
If you step in dog mess, then it's not very hygienic, and it's not very it's just not nice.
You kind of get an antennae. The slightest thing, kind of, you know what's going on over there? Sidestep it. And if you can't sidestep it, make sure you come through it.
Because at the end of the day, cats, when they go to the toilet, they clean up and they cover up after them. And that has got to be a sign of higher intelligence.
That's a dirty, filthy business, and that ought to be stopped totally.
I think dogs are more, for a start, I think they smell more. Whereas a cat, you can leave a cat to it. Whereas with a dog...
Yeah, but if you've got a burglar coming in your house, at least a dog makes a noise.
Yeah, but you could throw the cat at the burglar.
That's a silly thing to say. Dogs are more interesting. That's the end of it.
No, it's not the end of it.
We'll just have to agree to disagree then.
I've got a lovely smile, as my mum says. So, I look good for my age too.
I think even if you hate turkey, you've got to have it at Christmas. I think it's the law.
It's delicious turkey.
Turkey butties, a bit of stuffing on it, you can't beat it.
And a bit of cranberry sauce on mine.
No, you can't beat that. You can get like a stocking, like a selection box, but a selection stocking for pets.
Well, that's different than selling your cat a card, isn't it? Because what can a cat do with a Christmas card?
Yeah, I can imagine a farmer sending a card to his herd.
For the cow at Christmas.
Not to be confused with the wife or anything. I've always felt uncomfortable with hot weather. I don't like hot weather. I don't like it. So, and you don't either.
No, I
Yeah.
can't.
So we're agreed on that. At the end of the day, what's it doing? It's cooking you, isn't it? The sun is actually cooking you.
Plus I
That's
get
why you
heat
go
rash.
brown flat.
If I'm in it for 10 minutes, I get a heat rash. It is very self-righteous, actually. It is.
No.
You
No,
are.
I'm
You
not
always
having
think
that.
you're right.
No, no,
I like
no.
to get the last word.
No, that's not right.
Well, I think you do think you're right.
No, I've changed a lot.
But there you're doing it now, saying I'm wrong, so you're right.
Well, I'm hardly going to say, oh yes, I am self-righteous.
Not in a horrible way, though.
Oh, what's a nice way of being
I
self-righteous
don't know, it's
then?
just you. I'm just used to you being like that.
Right. Self-righteous? No. No. This is Robert De Niro as a New York cop. Give me one donut, 2 coffees. Okay, make that heavy on the mayo. I could do a Scouser.
His impressions are sometimes quite cruel. Don't like him. Ah, yeah! It's being stupid now. That won't be used on the thing, will it?
What's the neighbourhood like round here, both of you?
Well, you don't know what's around the corner, but I can't be doing with moving again. After.
Well, the shop's around the corner.
What do you mean? The shop's around the corner.
Well, there's the hairdressers, the shoe shop, the clothes shop,
What's that
and there
got
was a
to-
post office. Well, you said you never know what's round the corner, and I do. I do know what's round the corner.
Running is a mind thing. It is a mind thing.
It is a mind thing.
It's not just. It's not a case of just putting one foot in front of the other. It is a mind thing. If you haven't got the frame of mind to run that day, that time, that minute, you're only one step away from a walk, and that is it.
That's a good point.
Excuse me, could I interview you on your experience of running? It's exhausting. I get a bit red and sweaty and hot, very hot. And I find at times I get sort of chafing. That's quite uncomfortable.
When you're getting swing through the air, like you don't know where you're at and you're trying to like find where you are, but he's got complete control of your body. Yeah, that move is really painful on your socket of your shoulder because he really pulls at it, and when you land, it's painful on your.
Okay.
Yeah.
When he lands on the floor, so I still got control of him.
You feel a bit like dizzy afterwards.
You just describe what move you're going to do and
Okay.
then do it. And then tell me where to, because I don't want to get in the way. So.
Okay, there's well, he's gonna land over there, so be careful. Go back. Extending him. Hold on, high, tight. Okay.
How many hours do you reckon you could stay awake for?
People think that when you work on nights that you'll automatically go sleep in the daytime because you're so tired. It doesn't work like that. I wish it did. Because you're really like, you come home at 6 in the morning, I'm buzzing, aren't I? I probably could go to about 10, 12. I probably could stay awake all day actually. But then all of a sudden, bang, it hits you like a wall.
What happens is, if say for instance
It
you've
turns
got...
into a grumpy old. That's what happens.
What was I going to say then? I had a good one, eh?
Oh, sorry.
Competitively, 24.
Well, yesterday I can use as an example. I stayed awake for 8.5 hours. I did.
8.5?
Yeah.
Wow.
In the day life, you hear a little bird tweet and it sounds really lovely. But if that little bird is tweeting at 11 o'clock when you're trying to go to sleep, you want to kill them. But in the morning, you think, oh, lovely little bird.
For me, that was because it was...
Because I went to bed the other day and that little was like there tweeting in that tree and I want to get it down. There's a whole family in there.
Yeah, you will then decide that it's almost like...
Shut up.
Describe communication.
Would you agree that 80% of communication is non-verbal?
Just thinking about that one.
Well, you were looking at me then and communicating. You were frowning a little bit, so you were communicating, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
And I read your face to say that...
Yeah, I guess you could say, 80% is non-verbal.
Yes. Well, it's 100%, isn't it, if you're a North Sea diver mending oil rigs?
I'm not biting.
How often do you get out and about in the grounds?
There was a time when I was a young man that I used to regularly go for long walks around, but I don't often go in without somebody telling me which way to go. Something that had fallen down in the, or been knocked down, I don't know quite how it came to my plate, in the safari park. And that was an antelope of some kind and had a special name, but I can't really remember what it was. And that, I think, we all had a portion of it somewhere around the estate.
Like, I was doing a job in Brighton recently, and then had a real buzz about it. And then I was in Suffolk or somewhere like that, doing an agricultural show, and people had come to look at the cows.
Many men, many men, many men, 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 many men, many men, many men, men, men. Papa à moi. Toddler rigger.
I don't find the clowns funny. I do begrudge them coming on. I find it quite insulting.
I always insist on wearing my hat from my crackerdom.
I hate wearing my hat from my Christmas cracker. It really annoys me.
Yeah, but I make you wear it.
You don't.
But I want you to wear it this year, please.
I'm not wearing it.
Well...
Just annoys me. It gets me hot, flustered, and as I'm eating, I can hear a rustle in my ears.
Rustle?
Yeah, I can hear
We don't have a rustle in our family.
The paper on the hat.
Do you? Well, what if I made like a woolen Christmas hat that doesn't rustle? Would you wear that?
You.
Would you not? A partridge in a pear tree, what do you think that's symbolic of?
Oh, I don't know, do I?
What, partridge, it's in a pear tree.
No idea. I mean, look at the state of it. 5 gold rings.
No, just a minute.
Ladies dancing, Lord sleeping.
No.
A partridge in a pear tree. I've no idea.
You're leaping ahead.
I don't know.
3 French hens. Well, they're just hens that are French, aren't they, really?
But I don't see the relevance.
That wouldn't be so good, 3 elephants, would it?
I said relevance, not elephants.
Oh, right. Now, if you opened the door and there was 4 birds calling, you'd say, who sent you? And they'd say, well, your true love sent us round. We're just calling. See if you're okay. Everything's alright at Christmas. Do you need anything?
On the 10th day of Christmas, my true sent to me 10 lords are leaping, 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids are milking, 7 swans are swimming, 6 geese are laying, 5 gold rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, 8 maids are milking.
12 days, is it like the 12th night? Is that what it means? What's all that? It's like...
I don't want to go through all that analysing it.
I know it's late, but I think we need to bottom this
You
one.
can bog off, I'm not doing it.
We need to analyse it to the nth degree.
Change the subject, please. That song, They Told the 12 Days of Christmas, I find it really irritating. The words are daft, 5 gold rings and all that.
Happy Christmas, everybody. Happy Christmas.
I didn't sound very sincere, did it?
Well, it was.
Happy Christmas and enjoy yourselves, and don't forget the true meaning of Christmas.
No. Just thinking about partridges.
Well, stop thinking about partridges.
Is it in danger as a species?
Can you be quiet now, please?
Is it edible? On the first day.